Hello, my name is Dee. Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome back if you have been here before. So today we are going to be doing a reading on what needs your immediate focus. Okay, so this is something that your guides, spirit, whatever resonates with you most, want you to focus on ASAP. Okay, really we're going within the next week. Okay, they want you to focus on this as soon as you possibly can and put much of your time, effort, and energy into this area of your life. Okay? So we are going to start out with 3 piles. But before I do that, let me remind everybody to please take what resonates and leave the rest. Okay? If the messages do not resonate with you, then they are not meant for you. So take what resonates and leave the rest. And let's jump right into it. Pile 1 with the, I'm not going to say it right, but Amazonite. Okay? Pile number 2 with this beautiful, beautiful piece of pyrite. And pile number 3 with this beautiful piece of malachite. Okay? And with that said, we are jumping right into pile 1 with the Amazonite. Okay, I think I got it there. I think I got it on the last one that nobody's going to see except for pile 1. I think maybe I pronounced it right this time. Okay, so let's see what it is that your guides, spirit, want you to focus on ASAP. Okay, what needs to be your immediate focus at this point in time? Okay, the first card to jump out was stress. This is the, I always mix them up. It's either Zen Osho Tarot or Osho Zen Tarot deck. Okay, so we have stress and we have clinging to the past. Okay, so these are old demons that are continuing to rear their ugly heads. And to me, that immediately brings forth this message, or the advice and guidance behind this would be that it's time for you to defeat them for once and for all. Okay, these might be secrets that you keep buried. These might be emotions that you keep buried within you. But there's some type of trauma that still brings you stress and still brings you worry and anxiety to this day. Okay, and I just heard, like, why are you still holding on to it? Like, it's okay, you can let it go. You might also need to express yourself in order to let it go. And I'm going to keep these 2 cards, even though they jumped out together. We have projections. I feel like that projections card is indicating that you might take out your emotions on other people within your life. So if you are particularly stressed out, you might project that energy onto somebody else. Okay, you might even project some of the anxiety or the trauma onto the other people within your life. So to me, that's either you, again, projecting it onto them or you taking it out on them. Then this leads us to completion. Okay? And if you notice, even the imagery of the card itself, so I hope that you can see it, he hasn't quite put that puzzle piece into this little baby face yet. Okay? There's still that puzzle piece that needs to be hunkered in to the rest of the puzzle. And what I love about the imagery of that in relation to what has come out so far is that you might not realize how much this little piece of the puzzle, how much suppressing your emotions, how much this traumatic experience from your past, whatever it is that is stressing you out, making you anxious, and that you are clinging on to from your past, you might not realize that once you defeat this demon, once you allow it to come up to the surface and for you to express it and deal with it, how much that is going to add to you feeling whole and one and complete within your own life. Okay? And I feel like that is also, I feel like what's so interesting with that as well is that you are perhaps someone who has been trying to work on getting your emotions in check. Like you're somebody that's been working on or focusing on self-healing. But it does seem as though there's still something that you will just not release. And that is keeping you from feeling whole. That's keeping you, especially if it's a particularly anxious or stressful day, that's keeping you from feeling fully together, fully sane let's say, for lack of a better way of me putting it. But, you know, it's something that causes such a disruption. It's like whether it's a memory or a traumatic event, or whether it's even you are having issues somewhere and you just immediately kind of bubble in. You're not allowing anything out at times. You know, like you might have an issue at work, or you might have an issue with a friend or a family member. And rather than expressing that, you allow it all to just get stuck within you. And that could very well be a trauma response from your past. Okay? But anyway, a little tangent to hopefully make it resonate for someone, because I needed to get that out. The next card we have is friendliness. Friendliness, I feel, is speaking to you being kind, compassionate, and empathetic toward yourself. Okay? Nobody knows what you're going through because you are clinging onto it and you're not letting anybody in. Again, you're bubbling up this emotion. You're bubbling up this trauma, whatever it might be. Even if it's just general stress, that you've been stressing out about money, let's say, that you've been stressing out about your job. You're holding on to it. And you're not allowing yourself to express the way that, at the end of the day, there's a lack of you expressing the way that you are feeling, and there's a lack of you expressing how you feel. And it's getting down to this point of you're just allowing yourself to hold on to all of these emotions, because that might have been the way that you always dealt with your emotions. And now that you are focusing on self-healing, there's this need for you to continue to express yourself. There's also a need for you to basically treat yourself as a friend. Okay? You might feel like you are a burden to others. You might feel like what your issues are not important. You might feel like what is stressing you out, like let's say it is money, or a stressful work day, or just a little argument or a little issue when you went to the store that day. You're suffering in silence, and you're continuing to suffer in silence. You're not venting out your frustrations. You're not venting out your stress. You're not telling people how you're feeling. And it could just be a buildup of little tiny itty bitty events that are just erupting. And I feel like that eruption comes when you project it onto others at times, because there's times where you're so frustrated about something else that you can't help but take out that frustration on someone else that doesn't even see it coming. And they don't see it coming because you're suffering in silence. You're suffering in silence because you feel like reaching out to someone, a friend or a family member, even if it's just to vent about your day, is you being a burden to them. And you need to start being friends with yourself. You need to start even mothering or nurturing yourself. Okay? You need to allow yourself that same time, effort, and energy that you give to other people. Because I'm sure if someone called you to vent about a stress, or to vent about a traumatic event, or to finally confide in you about what it is that they are going through, you wouldn't tell them to go fuck off. You would be kind and compassionate and loving and supportive and uplifting. And that's exactly how your friends and your loved ones will be unto you if you are to express what it is that you are feeling. Okay, so basically your next immediate focus, grab a friend, grab a loved one, grab whoever it is that you feel closest to, grab whoever it is that has shown you how uplifting and supportive and loving and kind and caring and compassionate and empathetic they are toward you, and express to them how you are feeling. Okay, this person, and those people, because to me, it's not like it's just one person you have. There's so many people around you that would never, ever, ever once feel like you are burdening them with your issues if you are to finally confide in them. And then a couple more cards sputtered out. The card that sputtered out away from the rest is sharing. The card, another card that flipped out on top was letting go, but there was like 5 or 6 cards underneath him. The sharing card speaks on exactly what I was just getting into, okay? You need to share. You need to share your struggles. You need to share your triumphs. You need to share your stress. You need to release whatever the hell you are holding on to. Because right now it feels like you're holding on to everything, and it's only causing for you to explode at times. Okay, it's only causing for you to explode at times when you can't hold on to it anymore. And it's also causing for you to have some major disruptions, let's say, within your healing process. Because it is clear here that you've been focusing on healing. It's clear that you have been focusing on, trying to grow out, like not grow out of this, but the indication at the beginning is that you are repressing and or suppressing certain things that you don't want to come up to the surface. And as far as your healing journey goes, that's something that's going to allow for you to feel more fulfilled, more whole, more complete, more at one and at peace with yourself. If you begin to express yourself, basically. If you begin to let go of trauma, if you begin to let go of stress, if you begin to confide or vent and so on and so forth with other, you need to share more of yourself basically with the people that are in your life. Nobody's going to look at you as a burden. You need to start treating yourself as a friend with kindness and compassion and empathy. Your struggles are your struggles, and they are meaningful and they are important to you. Okay? And nobody in your life is going to tell you, nobody in your life that is proven to be supportive, uplifting, loving, caring, kind, compassionate, and empathetic is going to look at you and tell them that you are burdening them with your vent session or your trauma. Okay? And you need to begin to recognize that. You need to begin to, when it comes to yourself, to know that your struggles are your struggles. They are your own. Okay, nobody can turn around and say to you that you're not struggling hard enough. Okay, it is a very subjective scale. Okay, but nobody can turn around and tell you that what you are experiencing or that what it is that you are feeling emotionally is incorrect. Okay, your emotions and the way that you are feeling, your struggles and the way that they make you feel is not something that somebody can downplay or tell you are wrong, basically. Okay? It's almost like if you feel something, say something. Okay, say something to somebody. None of these cards are falling out. We are looking for, I have shuffled so many times. Let me try again. But you also need to recognize that you are not burdening anyone by confiding in someone, by allowing somebody else to show you the friendliness and the kindness and the compassion and the empathy that you give so freely to others. Okay? This is an oracle deck. Let's see what needs your immediate focus. We have cycles, and I feel like this in and of itself, perhaps these first three cards are a cycle within themselves, especially if you deal with something like anxiety or if you're dealing with some or any type of trauma where you're stressed out. Maybe you're just stressed out about your day. Then you start anxiously thinking about and clinging to the past. Your worst, especially if it's anxiety, okay? You're just having a shitty, stressful, anxiety-ridden day. You think of every single fucked up thing that's ever happened to your life that you have not been able to let go of. And then you project that onto other people in one way or another. Okay, you either release your frustrations on them through an argument or through some, nasty remarks, whatever it might be, or you still project it onto others in one way or another. Okay, and I feel like that's a cycle that keeps occurring here because you have not released that piece of the puzzle yet. Okay, you have not rectified or released that piece of the puzzle yet. Okay, it just keeps occurring. Okay, where it could even be a minuscule thing that stresses you out, and then it turns into this horrible awful day where you end up feeling like absolute shit about life or about yourself and so on and so forth, because you haven't allowed yourself to release it. The next card that jumped out was release, or volcano, which brings up the word release. And then we have cedar tree with wisdom. Okay. Again, I feel like what is being indicated here is you needing to release yourself from this cycle. And the way that you're going to be able to release yourself from this cycle that keeps occurring is by you releasing what it is that you are holding on to. You hold on to everything. And it's time for you to begin to release yourself from it so that you can move forward on your healing journey and on your healing path. And these friends, family members, therapists, so on and so forth that you confide in, that treat you with kindness and love and compassion and empathy, are going to give you wisdom that you need in order to take with you on this next part of your journey. And as you begin to release this, which would be an indication of you focusing some more on your self-healing, you're going to feel more complete and you're going to feel more in touch with your inner wisdom as well. Okay, so your immediate focus is to begin to open up about what it is that you are going through. Okay, you do not need to suffer in silence. You have so many people around you that will come at you with open arms and love you for opening up and expressing yourself to them. Okay, so I hope that that made sense. Thank you so much, Pile 1, for allowing me to read for you today, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Hello, Pile 2, my pyrite pile. Today we are going to be taking a look at what it is that you need to focus on ASAP. Okay, what in your life needs your immediate focus? We are looking at what it is that guides, that spirit, that your spirit team, so on and so forth, whatever resonates with you most, feels that needs your immediate focus. Okay, so pile 2, what is it that you need to focus on right now? The first thing I get from this, the Innocence card and the Mind card jumped out. And the first thing that I got from this is to declutter basically what is going on in your mind. To me, this would be, relieving stress. This would be meditative work. This would be introspective work, but really taking a good look at what is going on within yourself, within your own mind. Breaking down your own emotions, breaking down your own thoughts, especially if you feel like there's a spiral coming on or some anxiety coming on, releasing that stress. And also with the Innocence card, I get this really big. There needs to be a focus on joy. And speaking of all that meditative work and introspective work, we have moment to moment, which is indicating being more mindful. Okay? Being more mindful, spending more time in the moment or in the present moment, focusing on what brings you joy, focusing on what even brings you back to, it brings me back to inner child healing, let's say, where you're being urged to bring yourself back to this place of joy, of positivity, of enjoyment, of, in and of itself, inner child healing, but even more so, just allowing yourself to be in the moment more, allowing yourself to experience more, because right now you might be very much so stuck within your own head. Okay, you might be stressing yourself out, you might be stuck in your own head. And to me, it's just like at times your head might not be such a nice place to be. Like, I forget how the expression goes, but it's something like, oh, like you are always with yourself, or you're always with your own mind, so you need to make your mind a nice place to be, which also leads me back to it sounds like if you tell somebody you're depressed and they tell you just to try being happy, that's going to help. We lost a card. Okay, but so the breakthrough card came out next. And I do feel like what is being indicated here, though, that if you are more mindful, if you place this focus on meditative work, and again, I believe I said this in the intro to the video, but this is something that needs to be focused on literally immediately, within the next week. Maybe try to go outside, weather permitting, of course. Go outside, spend some time out in nature, whether that's at a park, whether that's in your backyard, whether it's taking a walk down the street, whatever it might be. It's summer where I'm at, so go to the beach, get grounded, basically. Do things that you find enjoyable, things again that bring you back to your childhood. Maybe riding a bike, maybe going to the beach, going to a playground and swinging on the swings. Whatever it is that's going to take you outside of what is taking place in your mind. And the reason why I'm saying it like that is not to ignore or to neglect your issues, not to ignore or to neglect, not to ignore or to neglect anything, but you might be spending a lot of time either self-isolating, at home, or even just doing things on your own. Doing things on your own, like maybe you get up and go to work every day, and then the next day you get up, you go to work, you come home. You get up, you go to work, you come home. So a lot of the time, or most of the time, you're spending time just with yourself, is stuck basically in your own head. And you're being urged to, within the next couple of days, begin to change that narrative. Okay, begin to go out, begin to experience things that exist outside of your immediate home space, let's say. I hope that that's making sense. Basically, what they want you to focus on ASAP is getting yourself out of this comfort environment and to get yourself out there to experience something in the moment to help to kind of snap you back into this present moment. Go outside, ground yourself, because that's what's going to lead you to some major breakthroughs, okay? Some major breakthroughs as they pertain to healing. Some major breakthroughs as they pertain to meditative or introspective work, okay? These experiences where you allow yourself to be mindful, where you allow yourself to be seen, where you allow yourself to live in the moment joyously and innocently, are going to take you out of this perhaps funk that your mind has been in. Okay, again, I hope that that's making sense, especially to see the breakthrough card. I feel like that is stressing the importance of you getting yourself out of your, let's say, comfort environment, getting yourself out of your house and going and doing and experiencing something. Doesn't necessarily have to be new. It could be something, again, from your childhood that you enjoy very much. But getting yourself out of your current environment and switching things up a little bit. Switching things up to allow for yourself to find some enjoyment. And the card that jumped out right after that was success. It is such a cute little beautiful card to jump out, because it's obviously some celebratory stuff going on, but it's just this tiger walking across the globe, basically walking across planet Earth. And again, get outside, experience things, because you are going to have some success in the sense of a major breakthrough about what it is that has been bothering you, especially if you felt anxious, you felt depressed, if you are having difficulty managing any emotions or any emotional or mental afflictions. You getting yourself out of this typical environment that you shut yourself into is going to allow for you to have great success. It's also going to allow for you to feel more successful. It's going to allow for you to feel like, wow, like I've successfully, even if when it comes to like anxiety, let's say you have really bad anxiety, and you drive yourself down to the beach and you just sit on the beach for an hour. That's going to feel like a major win for you, that you were able to take yourself out of, let's say, your bedroom where you've kind of been hunkering down, and you were able to allow yourself to go someplace that you love to go to, someplace that allows for you to live in the moment, someplace that allows for you to get grounded and to step outside of just your own head for a little while, and allows for you to really be mindful. It's going to feel like such a win. And not only that, but you're going to get some insights from this experience as well. And as I just finished saying the word insights, we have the card awareness jumping out. And existence. Okay, so we have awareness, we also have projections. And I feel like you are going to begin to see things so much more clearly as you begin to focus on. And this is usually meditative work, mindfulness, introspective work. I feel like you've dabbled in it. Usually it doesn't bring forth instantaneous results. But I feel like you've been so hunkered down that if you allow for yourself to live in the moment, if you allow for this mindfulness, if you allow for this meditative work to truly sink in, even just over the next couple of days, if you allow yourself to go into your backyard and sit in the grass for an hour to ground yourself, you are going to get major insights into what is occurring, or how you can help yourself to heal, basically, by literally just being. So I'm going to start pulling oracle cards, but I love this reading just because it is a gentle reminder. Like, it's a gentle reminder too that there is so much more just outside of what it is that we've got going on in our own heads. There's this beautiful world to see, you know? And I also feel like the mindfulness aspect of it, mindfulness, meditation, the introspection aspect of this, and just how much better a grounding exercise can feel for you. Okay, and like grounding exercises again, it can be you going and swimming in a natural body of water. If you don't have any natural bodies of water near you, it could be a pool, it could even be a shower or a bath. Okay, you set the intention with that water, basically. It could be you sitting underneath a tree in your backyard. It could be you going for a walk in a national park. Okay? Whatever it is that you have access to, in order to be able to ground yourself, you're being urged to do so. Then we have Island with detachment and Cloud with imagination. So again, this detachment card to me is bringing forth something that I was just speaking on, of getting outside of, almost like, again, getting outside of yourself for a little while. And I love the detachment card because it is calling for you to get out of your own head, to get out of your own head a little bit, to go out to experience things, to use your imagination in one way or another, and to not get so bogged down in, like, let's say the stressfulness, to not get so bogged down in the tragedy even in life, and to allow yourself to be present in the moment, to allow yourself to be present in a joyous moment where you can detach from the rest of the world, and you can still be mindful, and you can still be meditative, but you're focusing on positivity and joy and innocence and success and abundance and spiritual insights, you know, personal and spiritual growth, versus being stuck in or stuck on something that is more so negative in nature. And lastly, we have Dolphin, and the Dolphin card brings up listening. So again, I feel like one of the major reasons even why this is calling for you to get grounded, why this is calling for you to be mindful and to be present, why this is calling for you to be meditative and introspective, is because you're being urged to, you're literally being urged to watch out for the breakthroughs and the spiritual awareness that is coming your way. You're being urged to reconnect to and listen to your own inner guidance and your own intuition. You're being urged to get to this grounded, meditative, mindful state, even because God, your guides or your spirit team or spirit wants to communicate with you. They want to help you. They want to help you get out of this stressful mind or this negative mindset, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I hope that that's making sense. Your immediate focus is really on your own healing. Okay, is to focus on healing, is to focus on you going back, even, let's say, to having a more so innocent, and it sounds weird, I guess, when I say it out loud, but it's like going back to having this more so innocent or even childlike mind. And in that sense, we're looking for feelings of positivity, joy, and enjoyment, feelings of living in the moment and being in the moment, of not just allowing the stress of everyday life or what is going on in the world to bog you down. Okay, to focus on meditation and mindfulness, to focus on the spiritual insights that are coming your way, and with the dandelion card, to focus on your own healing, and how any step that you take toward living in the present moment, any step that you take toward releasing some of the stress that's on your mind, any step that you take toward grounding yourself, any step that you take toward, experiencing something, experience something, or bringing yourself back to that place of childhood wonder even, is going to feel like such a big win for you within these next couple of days. Okay? So I hope that made sense. Thank you so much, Pile 2, for allowing me to read for you today, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Hello, Pile 3, my Malachite pile. So today we are doing this reading on what needs your immediate focus. Okay, what it is that you need to be focusing on ASAP. Okay, from your guides, from spirit, from your spirit team, whatever it is that resonates with you most. We are looking at what needs your immediate focus. So this is something that your guides and so on and so forth want you to really start doing within the next week. Okay, I love this. And even playfulness is at the bottom of the deck because we have control. And of course, the first thing that comes up for me with the control card is to release some control. Okay, release some control that you have over the situation, or over not over your life, but to release some control. Okay, because they're trying to draw your awareness to celebration and slowing down. Okay, you might be very focused, let's say, on your career. You might not have had a lot of time recently to be able to focus on fun, to be able to focus on playfulness, to be able to focus on celebrating. And it's time for you to release some control in the sense of letting loose, okay? And that's what they are trying to draw your awareness to, that it's time to celebrate, it's time to have fun, it's time to go back to what you find enjoyable and exciting and passionate for yourself. It's time for you to slow down, okay? It's time for you to slow down, to live your life, to let your hair down, and so on and so forth, okay? That really is the main focus. Then I just had 2 cards fall on the ground, and it's trust and success. And I feel like what's important with that is, especially with the control card, and if you have been trying to focus on your career or on your career goals, any business ventures, and so on and so forth, you might be putting so much of your time, effort, and energy into your business or into your work life that you're forgetting about what exists outside of that. And you're being asked to draw your attention toward what does exist outside of that. And you're also being asked to trust that you will be in the same exact position that you left your business or your work life in when you return. Okay? That you're going to continue to find and have successes, that you're going to continue to be just as successful, that nothing wrong is going to happen if you decide to allow yourself to have or to find some enjoyment and some fun. Okay? Guilt comes out next. Okay, so you might feel guilty or ashamed when you do allow yourself to let loose, or you might feel guilty and ashamed when you do allow yourself to release some control that you have over, again, I feel it's indicating work and career. Okay, that you might feel guilty about, even if let's say you are a parent You might feel guilty if you leave your child to enjoy a fun night out or fun night in with your friends, and so on and so forth. But you're being asked to step outside of what has been your typical routine, even to release some control over your typical routine, to leave some room for spontaneity, to leave some room to allow yourself to relax, to have fun, to know that whatever you are leaving behind for that moment to enjoy yourself is going to be exactly where you left it at. And to not give in, or to not let yourself feel so guilty for allowing yourself to find some enjoyment within your life. And then we have beyond illusion. And I feel like the illusion here that you create for yourself, if this is a business venture, let's say, or something that has to do with work, that if you are to release some of your control over it, even if it's just for a day, like one vacation day or one mental health day or one, personal day, that you are going to be completely disoriented when you return. Or that if you allow yourself to go out and have some fun and just let your responsibilities fall by the wayside for even just a day, that everything's going to fall apart if you release that control. And you're being asked to kind of see that that's an illusion you're building up for yourself because of how guilty you feel, taking some time to yourself. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Goodness. Okay, so we also have inner voice and we have the lovers. So I feel like, first of all, the inner voice card might be focusing even back to the beyond illusion card, indicating that this slowing down, taking time to yourself, this vacation, even this celebration might literally just be a little break. That it might just be a break again in your normal routine. Okay, and that you need to listen to your inner voice, your inner guidance, or your intuition when you do need those breaks. And you need to take them, and you need to make sure that you're giving yourself exactly what it is that you need. Okay? The inner voice card, I also feel, goes back to the less positive aspects of the inner voice, which could be the guilt or the need to control, the need to not want to stray outside of your usual typical routine, the need to want to keep everything together and not kind of just put yourself out there and have some fun. Okay, and you're being urged to put yourself out there and have some fun in these next couple of days. Okay, we have the Lovers card jumping out next, and the Lovers is bringing forth this message of how you allowing yourself to be free for just a little while, whether it's an hour, whether it's a day, whether it's a vacation week, whatever it might be in your case. Okay, whatever it is that you're trying to swing here or can swing here when it comes to this, you're being urged to take that time, to take that act of self-love toward listening to what it is that your mind, body, and soul need, which is obviously a break of some sort. A break to slow down, a break to celebrate, a break to find some enjoyment outside of what it is that you need to do. Okay, even we could put it as simply as focusing on and then we have the experiencing card. Okay, so again, putting yourself out there to even perhaps experience something new. Again, adding some spontaneity into your life. Okay, slowing down, taking a break. And I feel like, to simply put everything that's come out here today, you're being urged to get outside of your typical usual routine for a little while. Focusing on what it is that you want to do versus what it is that you feel you need to do. Okay? Now let's get some oracle cards, pile 3. We have the Eagle card, which has the message of vision on it. I feel like the vision card can be interpreted a couple of different ways. Okay, that maybe you have had this vision of you experiencing a nice beach day into the near future. Maybe you've had this vision of you getting together with your friends. Maybe you have had this vision of you taking some time to focus on getting some rest, meditating, reconnecting to that inner voice. But I also feel like the Vision card stems back into the guilt and the control cards, basically indicating that you do have at times this. But I do feel like the Vision card brings us back into this control and this guilt card, indicating that at times you feel like if you allow yourself to have some fun or to find some enjoyment and to not just focus on what it is you feel that you have to be responsible for, that it will fall apart. And here we can clearly see that you are needing to trust them on this one, allowing your responsibilities, allowing yourself a day away, let's say, from your responsibilities. What are you? We have dolphin, listening. And I feel like this is speaking to listening to what your mind, your body, and your soul need. Okay? And at this point in time, it seems like they do need you to slow down, to take a minute for yourself. Okay? To focus again on what it is that you want and need to do. What you want and need to do for yourself, rather. Okay? Oh, and what are you? We have dandelion with healing. And I feel like you're underplaying how much of a healing experience this would be for you if you are to take some time for yourself. And how healing it will be even when it comes to this card, Lotus Resurrection, basically speaking to you feeling so much, let's say, fresher, so much more alive, so much more in tune with yourself, so much more, I keep going back to the word alive, like so much more alive because you are allowing yourself to experience some fun, some enjoyment, rather than just focusing on the responsibilities of everyday life. Okay, so over the course of the next couple of days, or what needs your immediate focus, seems to be you ensuring that you are putting yourself out there to allow yourself to have some fun, to allow yourself to slow down, basically a nice little vacation. And as I said, whether you can swing this for only an hour, or you can swing this like you've got a whole week's vacation from work coming up, which would be ideal in this situation, whatever it is, you are being urged to take whatever time you can over the course of the next couple of days to focus on yourself, to focus on what brings you happiness, what brings you joy, what allows for you to feel fulfilled, what allows for you to feel personally happy, what allows for you to just get out of this, hunkered down, hunkered in, only responsibility or only work focus type of zone. Okay, you're being urged to have some fun. You're being urged to get out there, to experience new things, to experience things that you love to do, versus only focusing on your responsibilities and what it is that you feel like you need to do. Okay, pile 3, so that is pretty much it, my malachite pile. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you today, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.